What will happen to the body if you do not sleep for a day, 2, a week? We tell you by day. How 5 stages of sleep deprivation lead to a complete distortion of reality. In a lifetime, a person spends from 15 to 30 years in a state of sleep. But do not consider this time worthlessly spent. Sleep is very important for the body. And the main problems begin not in cases where there is a lot of sleep, but on the contrary, when there is too little of it. We tell you what threatens to refuse a night's rest for different periods of time. 24 hours. A rare person has not spent at least once in his life a sleepless night, preparing for exams, a friendly party, New Year's Eve, night work. In the end, if after that there is an opportunity to sleep, then this is not so scary. If, after an active night, the same day follows, then a person may begin to have a headache. It will be difficult for him to concentrate. A brutal appetite will wake up. The body is trying to compensate for the lack of rest with high-calorie food. A sleep-deprived person can drink liters of coffee, trying to recover, but this will not help for long. What are the risks of such a regular daily lack of sleep? First of all, problems with the cardiovascular and digestive systems. They work to the limit due to the large amount of fatty foods, coffee and tea. Studies show that the effects of one sleepless night on the body are comparable to cognitive impairment at 0.1% alcohol in the blood. This, by the way, increases the risk of getting into an accident. After 24 hours of lack of sleep, a person's levels of stress hormones, in particular cortisol and adrenaline, increase, explains John Klein, Assistant Professor of Clinical Psychology at the Yale School of Medicine and member of the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. The brain is trying to cope with the fact that it does not have the opportunity to reboot, and these hormones help keep the body active. 36 hours. At this stage, your health is already at serious risk. First, you will be very sleepy. If there is no such opportunity, you may begin microns, periods of falling out of reality. They can last from a fraction of a second to 30 seconds. But even this time is enough for you to lose control of what is happening around and a disaster occurs. At the same time, inflammatory markers increase in the blood. This can lead to cardiovascular diseases, high blood pressure, as well as hormonal failure, because cortisol continues to flow into the blood, which means you are in a state of prolonged stress. At this time, stomach pains may also appear, because due to lack of sleep, glucose metabolism is disturbed. You will feel everything that you felt 12 hours ago, but in a much larger volume. Dizziness, watery eyes, inhibited reactions, weakened immunity. Congratulations, you are almost a zombie. 48 hours. You literally sleep on the go. Due to the extreme stage of sleep deprivation, your brain turns off more and more often. Micro-sleeps follow one another. Some people feel overwhelmed, and some may become euphoric or see and hear things that aren't really there. Hussam al-Sharif. If you haven't slept for 2 days, then most likely you will lash out at everyone around you. It will be very difficult to work. You won't be able to reason and keep the necessary information in your head. By the way, the blow falls on the immune system. A study of volunteers who refused sleep for 3 days, after 48 hours of being awake, showed a decrease in NK cells, which are called natural killer cells, by as much as 37%. NK cells play a key role in fighting viruses and tumor formation. 72 hours. After 3 days of insomnia, violations of the work of all body systems will begin. Even the gait will change. The person will move as if he were very drunk. Speech is disturbed. Chills, tremors, and nervous tics begin. Appetite, on the contrary, disappears. At this stage, continuing to refuse sleep is life-threatening. Why is sleep needed? The body really wants to shut down, and you force the brain to fight this desire, says John Klein. As a result, a person comes into a very fragile emotional state, and your brain has matured to hallucinations, delusions and paranoia. 96 hours. This is already the final stage. In 4 days, the perception of reality will be greatly distorted. The desire to sleep will be simply unbearable. You will not be able to correctly interpret reality. This is called sleep deprivation psychosis. It is important to understand that the more awake you are, the more difficult it will be to recover. So, just an hour of sleep loss will take 4 days to bounce back. Now think about how many days you are sleep deprived at the moment. Subscribe to the channel for more.